Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I have the Azpen A746 HD tablet available for $30. So I was at Microcenter today and I saw this available for $30 and I just had to pick it up. The reason being is because this has a 1280 by 800 resolution and it's available for 30 bucks. So I'm like, why not try it out? So on top it just shows you that you get the tablet itself, user manual, USB cable, and DC charger. On the bottom, it shows more of the specifications here. It has a quad-core 1.3 gigahertz processor, 7-inch HD LCD 800 by 1280 IPS display, so that's pretty good. A 5-point capacitive touchscreen, as to be expected. Only 512 megabits of RAM, that's not good. And there's only 8 gigs of storage, and of course there's a camera too. So let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, so customer support if you want it. Warranty policy. The tablet itself. So there's a user manual. It's running Android 4.4 KitKat. DC port to recharge the tablet. DC to USB. And then this is micro USB to USB. I don't know if micro USB can recharge the tablet, but we'll take a look at that later. And a wall outlet. So that's pretty nice. So let's put all this stuff to the side. Alright, so let's go ahead and power this on for the first time. All your buttons are located up here. So starting from the right, there's the power button, 3.5mm headphone jack, micro USB port, DC port, and then the volume rocker keys. It's on now. So yeah, this is running Android 4.4 KitKat, so a pretty old Android firmware. And then one other thing though is that on the top left is the speaker, and this has like kind of a dotted texture feel. It's just plastic though. And then the reset button's located back here, and then the micro SD card slot. We'll check to see if you can store apps into the micro SD card in just a moment. Yeah, so I always love it when they have an IPS screen, and nonetheless, it's also a 1280 by 800 resolution. I mean, just looking through back and forth, everything seems to be pretty smooth, but of course I have to test this out with some games and all that. Yep, Android 4.4.2 KitKat. In storage, you only have about 4.39 gigs available, or actually 4.17 gigs available. That's not much at all, but thankfully we do have a micro SD card slot. But again, I have to check to see if it can transfer apps to the SD card. And then there are some pre-installed apps on here, like Bleo eBooks, Games, W Games, I forgot what that is, and then Office Suite Pro. I think you have to pay for that. UHT player. So you can uninstall like these three things, and maybe Azpen too. I wonder what the Azpen does. Sorry, there's a front-facing camera up here. There's nothing in the back though, so just one front-facing camera. All right, so yeah, it's getting kind of dark here. There's still daylight outside, but yeah, I guess you have to be in a bright area. Otherwise, it's too dark. But yeah, it's a very, very poor camera. I assume this is 3 megapixels. Oh, and the Azpen just takes you to the website for AzpenPC.com. Alright, so when I tried going on the AzpenPC.com, it opens up the website, but then it crashes a little bit after. So that's not looking too good for this. Yep, there you go. Fortunately, the browser has stopped, so that's not a good sign at all. I'll probably try to download a lighter browser like Dolphin or Opera Mini and see how that works. So after doing one test, I tried doing a second test, but it just like froze in the middle. So for now, we'll just assume it's around 16,000. That's a really, really low score. It says here that the 3D is not supported on here. And then there's everything else right there. They have a quad-core ARM v7 processor, and it's a Mali 400MP GPU. That's kind of a low GPU. That would be probably more normal if this was like 2014 or something. But yeah, and then there's not much RAM available. Let's try to see if we can link to an SD card. Now I have one installed in here. So let's see if we can transfer. Let's try Fruit Ninja. Second partition not found. Movable, move to the SD card. And okay, it just brings it up here. Yeah, so I guess you can't transfer apps to an SD card. That's really, that's pretty disappointing. but what can you do, honestly? Now, I gotta say, for the screen, it doesn't get too dim or too bright at all. It really doesn't get bright at all. I mean, it's decent, but this isn't something you'll be able to see outdoors or use outdoors. Nonetheless, I do like the IPS screen because you don't have like those burned those bad side viewing angles. One other problem I found is that when I tried downloading two things, or when I tried to search something else up on here on the Play Store, it just crashed on me, and the download, like whatever I was downloading before, it just wasn't downloading anymore, so I had to go back and reinstall everything one by one. Also, when something's being downloaded in the background, I think it's best to just leave the tablet alone, just in case if the tablet crashes for some reason. I mean, there's only 512 megabits of RAM, which is very low. But the only reason I actually am intrigued by this tablet is because of the resolution and the price. I've only seen one other tablet that has a 1280 by 800 IPS resolution, but it was for $35. And you know, this only has about 4 gigs available, 45 gigs, but there is a micro SD card slot that you can use to, you know, install more movies or whatnot. Now, let me try browsing around a little bit and see how, you know, smoothly everything goes. Let's go ahead and just try loading something like Amazon.com up. And if it takes too long to load, it's my internet, it's my Wi-Fi, it's probably not the tablet. But yeah. Yeah, it's pretty slow. Pretty slow for browsing the web. Let me try Yahoo. Oh yeah, I guess I have to close the whole app and go back into it. Alright, so let's look through all this stuff. So you got all these things on top. Tommy Lauren suspended from The Blaze. Let's just click on that. Alright, median income. So there is a slow load, there is stuttering here and there. Alright, yeah, so I guess, you know, it's not that good for browsing the web. It'll do decently if you have to just check out an article. You know, something very, very light. Let me try out a few games here. Let's check out Fruit Ninja. Okay, the first time it loaded, it just crashed. Let's try this the second time. And is it going to crash again? Because it did say it's not really 3D supported. Is that an advertisement or something? Oh, shoot. Let's go back in. There we go, it loaded. But it looks very slow right now. Alright, I clicked start, and you know, this is the third time. Oh, and it crashed. So I guess we're going to assume that 3D games are not good. I mean, let's try one more. It's not as graphic intensive, Subway Surfers. Okay, so I restarted the tablet because it wasn't loading for some reason. But I did play this off the camera, or I wasn't recording it, and it actually runs decently. You'll notice a few stutters here and there, but I mean, that might affect gameplay performance, you know, as, you know, if you played this game before, it gets like really fast eventually, or he runs really fast. So yeah, at that point I think it can affect it, but I'm not too sure. I'm not going to get that far in this game. But yeah, I would say that maybe if you're playing 2D games, like easy 2D games like Monster Dash, or maybe even this does look pretty decent so far. I haven't seen any problems. A Mali 400 GPU is alright. Not enough RAM though, that's for sure. So yeah, this runs decently, so I assume, you know, you can do you can do light gaming, nothing too heavy. You know, I gotta say, I am very disappointed right now. I checked on YouTube, this app I'm using, and then I checked online just to be sure, but apparently it can only play up to 360p. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I am very disappointed. Since this is the case, that alone, I won't recommend this tablet. You know, it's very slow. It doesn't have much potential to play games or anything, but you know, because it was a 1280 by 800 IPS display, I was like, maybe it's good for media consumption. But no, I was wrong. This is terrible if it can't play videos in HD 720p. So for that reason alone, I have to say this is a bad tablet. Don't go with this. If anything, I'd recommend you check out the RCA Voyager 3. I'll have a link down below. As always, thanks for watching, guys.